All right, who's your last or your first or last defensive player here?
Well, okay, I'll give my last. I got one more offensive guy, but I'll give I'll give my defensive player though because I really want to bring him up. And you can agree with me here. I never bring up Notre Dame guys on these lists because I don't want to come off as it. No.
Oh,
this is any Notre Dame fan knows who I'm about to name. Bryce Young, not the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Bryant Young's son, former Hall of Famer, former Notre Dame defensive tackle, San Francisco 49er. Notre Dame was really banged up at edge at the very end of the season. They lost so many guys. This guy was a former 5-star, was one of the highest rated edge prospects in his class, a type of recruit that Notre Dame hadn't been getting in a while. Like they lost out on Keon Keeley that they thought they were going to have guaranteed to have. Bryce Young has already outperformed what we would have thought that we would have gotten from Keon Keeley. 3 tackles for loss and 1.5 sacks isn't exactly a sexy number. But when we watched this kid during the playoff run, he made some explosive plays. He made some like fly off the line, outwork a veteran offensive lineman, and get to a ball carrier. I think that as he fills out his frame and he starts to get bigger and he starts to be a part of this Notre Dame strength and conditioning program that's always been great for defensive linemen, that he's going to go from this top recruit to eventually one of the better defensive linemen in the country. He has the goods. Notre Dame hasn't had a defensive lineman like this since Stephon Tuitt or Isaiah Foskey. This is that opportunity to have a guy that's even better than both those.
I got to admit, listen, I don't know enough about him, so I'm going to take your word for him. Here's what I worry about guys defensively. So we've talked about Sammy Brown.
Yeah.
And some of these guys that show flashes. Are you showing me a flash for and this has nothing to do with Notre Dame, even though I'm going to get hammered by Notre Dame fans. This is a general overall thing that we literally just mentioned about other players. We literally just mentioned about Austin Simmons. So we're not making any crazy comparison or analysis here. Can you show me a flash for a play? Can you play every down? I think that's a simple question that's got to be asked, right? Like, okay, you come into the game versus Ohio State, you have a tackle, you have some explosivity to you. Are you rotating in and out of there? Me and you talked about off camera, and we'll bring it up here. The guy that was at edge for Notre Dame that I'm not going to point out names. I'm not going to call out players, but you know who I'm talking about. Maybe you'll say it. I don't care. They had some issues. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be rude. There was just issues there because they
were banged up. This is the type of guy who not only fixes the issue, but takes them to another level.
The question that I would have in is this. I'm serious. I'm just asking the question. When you're getting that bad of play at the edge during the playoff, the kid's already going through an entire year of football. What is your hesitation of not putting him out there snap in, snap out?
He's a true freshman. Very few defensive linemen are ready to go as true freshmen. So that would be my immediate response.
But with as bad as play as that you were getting at edge from 40.
No, but that was the whole point, is that he was starting to, towards the end of the year, he was starting to get more and more opportunities, and he was starting to make more and more plays. He was playing opposite of Tui Alamaka, number 44 that you're referencing. That was all they had left at edge. That was all that they could turn to.
Did he start in the national championship game?
I forget if he started, but he played. He played a lot during the playoffs.
I remember him playing. I remember, there being situations where I knew you were tweeting about it, like, here he comes, like, let's see what happens here. Again, it's a generalized question. Are you going to
I don't think there's a concern to answer it. Okay. I don't think it means anything.
And again, in these comments, I'm going to get absolutely ridiculed. I'm literally just asking a question that we've asked about all these other players here.
Fair. That's fair.
The question becomes, too, that I have for Notre Dame that would spite him. You do have some turnover, right? Like, I mean, you do have turnover. People don't get this. People think I'm crazy. I've played the position from the opposite side of it. When a team is not as good in the interior, it always helps our tackles. Always. People think it would help our guards more than our tackles. It doesn't, because the end presence, you have to do so much more to stop the run. If you can get a push in the interior, the tackles are like, oh, man, this is a great day. I can seal block. We got penetration and push. That would be a question I'd have. Now, 6'7", 258. I mean, the kid's an athletic freak. Can you continue to do that will be the question. All right. My last offensive player here. You ready?
Yeah, before we get out of here.
I've been doing deep pulls here. You ready? I didn't do 2 defensive guys, but it's okay. I'm going with Justin Haynes, the running back at Michigan. You're going to run the ball 9,822 times. What was the problem with Alabama? They refused to continue to give him the football. What happened when you did give him the football? Oh, you beat Georgia. Oh, okay, cool. This kid's explosive. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Listen, man, there are positions on teams when teams make a pull. Michigan at running back for me is one of them. I'm going to trust you.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.